started in just a moment. I'm waiting for the girls. And you guys should know the deal by now. Feel free to drop in chat where you're coming from today. There's Kristin made it. Hello, beautiful. And we're just waiting for Betsy. There she is. Hello, hello, the UK.
Hello, everyone. I'm Kristin. Nice to meet you. Hi, Jay. Hi, B.
I think everybody knows you by now, Kristin, or at least they know the name. They know the name.
Hey, guys.
So welcome. First time live. We have Las Vegas, Dripping Springs, Texas. Hey, Lenny.
Well, I'm sure y'all are warmer than I am.
I know. We had our first overnight freeze. It's a little chillier up here. Oregon, Phoenix, Las Vegas.
All right.
Energies.
I know.
All right. Well, as you guys know, or ladies and gentlemen know, today is question and answer day. So we will be taking your questions. If you're having, have any questions around your chart, if you have questions about the program, feel free. But we do have.
We have a little introduction. Oh, thank you, Toby. Appreciate that. We do have a little introduction from Karen, and she has some additional things to share with you. So I am going to go ahead and share that first. And then after that, we can talk about anything you want about the Coach Mastermind, about your big why, all of it. So here we go. All right.
Hi, good morning. Welcome to, or good evening, depending on where you are. Welcome to day 5 of our 7-day coach challenge. So I want to cover just quickly what we've talked about so far. On Monday, we looked at the power of your narrative and how your story or your client's stories are either causing them to grow and expand or holding them back. We explored particularly through the lens of the word to serve, what stories we might be holding on and how those stories might be keeping us from stepping into higher, more expanded, sustainable ways of serving in the world. On Tuesday, we looked at, well, what's underneath our story? Is there something going on that might be holding us back from being sustainable and resilient? Do we have hidden self-sabotage protocols going on in our narrative that might be keeping us from growing, that might be trying to protect us from getting hurt, but actually stopping us short from maximizing our potential? We looked at those resiliency keys and explored whether we are wrestling with any of them, and you probably are, and that's normal. Most of us are, if not all of us are. And we looked at how can we perhaps start thinking about applying this to our clients so that we can get underneath why they might be stuck or self-sabotaging. On Wednesday, we looked at the cycle of disruption and why life events and disruptive events are really essential as part of our growth and how to navigate from a cycle of disruption through being in the void and using the power of that liminal cycle to really redefine for ourselves the true story of who we are and craft for ourselves a narrative that's big enough to call us forward into a cycle of growth. On Thursday, yesterday, we revisited the quantum human design types, and in particular, we looked at it through the lens of the emotional themes, reinterpreting the emotional themes, and really looking at what's the higher purpose of the types and thinking about that in the context of storytelling, our own personal narrative, and again, augmenting and expanding the stories that we support our clients in redefining. We also looked at how to interpret the planets shining their lights on the gates and how that shows up in our charts. And I gave you a life purpose template and a Gates cheat sheet, plus some examples to start putting together your life purpose story so that you can start putting together the key components of your core message in order to better serve your client, in order to better communicate to the world what it is that you do, in order to clarify your marketing message, in order to clarify what it is exactly you do in your coaching process, so that no matter what comes down the chute economically, circumstantially, if you've got this core piece in place, you'll be able to pivot and shift whatever it is you do and still stay true to yourself, your core essence, and your expanded story. Today, Betsy and Jamie and Kristin are going to work with you and help you continue to get your questions answered, of course, and also keep working on your life purpose statements. I'm so impressed because some of you have already completed the process. I don't know, overnight, did you not sleep? And in that completion, you posted your story on Circle. If you haven't seen some of the examples of some of your cohorts and what they've posted there, go to your Circle account, scroll down and read some of those life purpose statements that some of you posted. Amazing. Amazing. So if you haven't finished it yet, don't worry. It actually is kind of not normal to finish it overnight. It's really actually usually takes people a couple weeks to go through this process. So take your time, really savor it. You're giving yourself a tremendous gift. And if you get stuck or hung up in this process, reach out for help from us, post stuff in Circle. Or, and here's the other thing, sometimes when we're trying to really figure things out with our brains and we power on, we're trying to use the power of our mind, we do get stuck. So if you really are like, I don't get this, take yourself for a walk, go for, take a hot shower, go do something relaxing and kind or creative for yourself. And when you really, when you get out of the headspace with it and let yourself drop just into the sensual part of it, the creative part of it, you'll be surprised how sometimes very quickly the epiphany, the insights that you need will show up. I also want to let you know that on Sunday, November the 14th, I will be leading a 4-hour Selling by Human Design intensive. We're going to post information about that program for you. This is a kind of a preview, sneak peek into some of the work that we do in the Quantum Human Design Coach Mastermind. We not only teach you how to implement everything we've been talking about this week, we also help you grow your practice. So whether you're just starting out or you have a practice or you want to pivot your practice a little bit and maybe take it down a different path, maybe you want to add speaking to it, maybe you want to become a thought leader, maybe you have a book to write, maybe you want to create a different process or attract a different kind of client. Wherever you are in your practice, we're going to work with you to help you grow and scale your practice. So on Sunday next week, November the 14th, from 2 to 6 p.m. Central, I'm going to be going through the sales process through the lens of human design. We're going to be looking at your unique chart and how your design impacts your sales message. What do you need to pluck out of that chart to place in your sales message so that your sales message is aligned? We're going to talk about how do you actually do the sales process by design and how to do selling in such a way that your sales becomes a love letter to the world and that you feel deeply aligned and in integrity with your marketing message, and you bring into your practice the perfect clients that are the clients that bring you joy and juice and are fun for you to work with, and also show you how you can do this in such a way that you create for yourself an income flow that allows you to be sustainable and enduring in your practice. The registration button, Kristin will post for you the registration and where you can get information to join us on Sunday, November the 14th. If you decide at the end of Sunday the 14th that, hey, this is really great and I really love this work and I want to join the Coach Mastermind program, I will take your tuition that you pay for the Selling by Design intensive and I will apply it towards the Coach Mastermind training. So if at the end of the day next Sunday you really are excited about going further and deeper with the material, you really want to take this and use it in your coaching practice, you want to expand your coaching practice, and you love what we're doing, you can take your investment in the tuition for the intensive, the enrollment fee, and you can apply it towards the Coach Mastermind program. So you'll get credit for it. And this Sunday's program will end up being a bonus for you. So I look forward to seeing you on this upcoming Sunday where I will be coaching you. We will have coaching love seats on Sunday. Betsy and Kristin and Jamie today will tell you what you need to do to be considered for a coaching hot seat. And then, of course, on Monday, we're going to be talking about deconditioning the centers and looking at the centers through the lens of the 9 resiliency keys. I hope you have a great weekend. I'll see you guys on Sunday.
I just waved at her like she was really here. Okay. So, great. So as you can hear, there's a sales mastermind coming up next. It's next Sunday, the 14th, not this Sunday. And it is a standalone thing you can register for, but it's also, if you take the sales intensive and then you decide you want to register in Coach Mastermind, we'll deduct what you paid for the intensive from your tuition.
And just housekeeping wise, if you hover, we're on the computer, so I don't know what it's like if you're on a tablet or phone, but if you hover over the bottom of your screen, there's a Q&A box. So if you could pop your questions in there versus the chat, so we don't miss any of the questions, that'd be great.
Yes. And if I'm not mistaken, y'all, because there was a question, if you register for the new round of the Coach Mastermind, did Karen say, if someone asked if the sales intensive was included for current mastermind
It
students?
is included for current Coach Mastermind programs, and because Karen always says something that makes us go, if you have already enrolled for Coach Mastermind, the new program, surprise,
Before the 14th.
Yeah, before the 14th. Only in this program, while this card is open, you will be getting access.
Yes. And for those of you who asked how you can register for that, I just Kristin had posted it, but then a bunch of people posted after. So I just reposted it in the chat for you if you're interested in that. And that is $1,000 for that 4-hour intensive. And again, if you sign up for the Coach Mastermind afterwards, we'll deduct the cost of tuition from that for you. So
for those who have not sat through a sales copy or any kind of intensive with Karen, they are very hands-on. So you're going to get a lot of personal attention from Karen, and you will absolutely, if you don't leave with a completed copy, you will absolutely have the structure and the confidence to finish it on your own.
Yeah, and you'll leave with something written, like you're going to be working on it, workshopping it in the course of that. So that link I put there has all the details about what's going to be covered and all that. So you can go ahead and read that over there too. So, all right, well, we are excited to be here with you. I know we've got some questions in the Q&A box already. You can ask us. I see a lot of questions already about your big why and about planets and gates, and that's totally fine. You can also ask us any questions you have about the program, about the Coach Mastermind itself, about the professional trainings, etc. We're here to answer any of that. I know Karen just announced it yesterday. So, okay.
Octavia, love, I lost your question. Can you post it again in the Q&A box?
All right. Well, maybe we can just go round robin here. So, Amy, your question about how does Mars, Venus, and Uranus factor into your purpose? It's not listed on the big Y sheet. So, Mars is a planet that is a lot about what you are willing to fight for. It's kind of a fiery planet. It also can be an indicator of themes that might play out for you in relationships with males in your life, men, father, brother, uncle, cousin, partner, what have you. Mars is also an indicator of themes or lessons you might grapple with in the earlier part of your life, like up until your Uranus opposition around age 40. So Mars is what you're willing to fight for. Venus is a planet that focuses on what you value, your core values. It may also be an indicator of themes in your female relationships in your life. And Uranus is a revolutionary planet that's, so Uranus is one of the outer planets, and the outer planets, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto, have more of collective themes in the chart. So Uranus is kind of a revolutionary planet that likes to shake things up for the sake of liberation. So it's about where are you coming into this life to either be revolutionary or, be on your own path towards liberation, but also might be kind of more collective themes around what you came to shake up on the collective level and bring some revolution and liberation to that. So I hope that helps. That's me. I'm sorry. I'll turn that off.
Yeah, and that was me informing.
Okay.
So
Jay, you want to take the next one?
Yeah, I'm actually going to take Octavia so we don't lose it in the chat. So she was asking, what does the number behind the decimal mean? Why do some numbers repeat? So you might see in your chart, you have gate 50.2. That means that you have the gate 50 and it's expressed in the second line. So you find a layer of that theme, like people, with the second line, right, it can get called out. So you might get called out into accountability, or, called out on where you're being accountable. So that's why sometimes, and you might find that, some charts, you might be just say a 2-4 profile, but in all the, the gates that you have defined in your chart, like and you might be like, but I feel like a 6-line profile or something. It might be that just based on your natal chart, like you have a lot of other planets, that are in, or gates that are in 6 lines. So you'll see there's a bunch of, just different ones. But basically that is the line that it's expressed in. But your profile is always going to be the main, like that's the most important part of it. It's just to not take away from that. But yes, that the little number behind the decimal is the line that it's expressed in.
And we had a question about that in circle 2 of if you should take that into consideration for the big Y worksheet, and you don't need to. That it's a fun thing to dive into those kinds of things, like down, depending on how advanced you are in your studies, like to look at kind of the nuance of how that theme might play out for you, like Jay was just saying. But I typically, it's such a rabbit hole. I mean, Karen doesn't teach the line expressions for every single gate when she teaches it, right? So if that's something that if you're like a first line profile, you've got the gate 48 1,000 times in your chart and you want to dive into all that, like definitely go ahead, but you don't have to go into that mumuch detail for the big Y worksheet. Just focus on the overarching themes for the gates. But yeah.
So. And even as you, go through your chart and just learning it more, if you're newer to quantum human design and the chart itself, we always say, as exciting as all the things are, and I know we've given so much information this week already, at the end of the day, when you're starting, aside from your big Y, because we're asking you to look at your gates, your type, strategy, and authority are the most important thing to follow, because while the rest of the chart, yes, it has all these things that make a lot of sense and explain a lot of things, but what's going to help you get in alignment with that chart, first and foremost, is following your type, strategy, and authority.
Yes. All right. Deborah asked about what it means when you have a gate in more than one planetary placement. So you have the 47 in your moon and in Saturn. So anytime that you see a gate in more than one placement on your chart, like if you have this gate 47 in the moon and in Saturn, or if you have, sometimes I'll see charts where you've got a certain gate like 4 times, 5 times. And that means it's going to be a really big theme for you in your life, and it's going to play out in a lot of different ways. So the gate 47 is all about mindset, right? And are you maintaining a positive mindset of possibility? Are you trusting the universe to bring you the epiphanies and the understandings that you need to know when you're ready, when you need to know them? And so having that in your moon means it's partly going to be a drive for you, right? That there's a driver for you to create more positive mindset, to be driven by the epiphanies and the understandings that you get from a higher power. And in Saturn, you might find that mindset is a really big place of learning for you, like especially around the time of Saturn return, which you'll go through your first one around age 30 and your second one around age 60. You might find that things may come up that really challenge your mindset and really make you need to work with that one. And I know that you said that as you're even coming into that 3-year approach to Uranus opposition, you've been struggling with it. Well, interestingly, so 3-year approach to Uranus, so I'm guessing you're around 35-ish. So you're still kind of on that tail, like you just really completed that Saturn return cycle, that first Saturn return. So it would make sense to me that that's kind of been something that's been a bit of a struggle for you around this time. And so for me, I always appreciate knowing the mastery of these kinds of gates when you have them in a challenging position like that, like in Saturn or in Mars or in Uranus or, possibly even in Pluto, which is all about death and rebirth, and so it's something that as you learn the lessons of how to maintain that positive mindset and how to trust what you'll know and receive from the universe, you'll be able to live out the higher purpose of your chart better. But yeah, anytime you see a gate in your chart multiple times, it just means that it's going to be a bigger theme for you. And knowing what the themes of those planets mean will help you understand more of the nuance of that. So I hope that helps.
Right. And then Kess asks, is there a significance to having a conscious and unconscious planet in the same gate? In essence, my Neptune is 14.2 conscious, 14.3 unconscious. Chiron is 17.3 for both conscious and unconscious. Uranus is 46.5 conscious and 42.6 unconscious. So you may find this a lot, especially the farther down you look on your chart, just, depending, it's not for everybody, but the outer planets move a lot more slow. So you'll find usually, like in my Pluto, I have each, has gate 48. Uranus is, or Neptune, one of them is, gate 26. And you'll find that like a lot of people around your age will have the same as well. They might be in, different lines, but they're, it's because they're generational themes. So it's more, while they do absolutely, impact us in our chart, also as and it's kind of, I don't know, I'm a nerd. So I like to look at the outer planets by, just different age groups and generations. And you're able to kind of see like the, the generational themes that are playing out. And, like, so with the gate 48, right? People kind of, going deep and getting to the depth of things so that we can come in and start to restructure and dismantle where things, need to be reestablished. So, but again, you'll kind of, just find, my daddy, he's older. So his Uranus and a lot of people around his age was, both in gate 51, right? So all these, shocking and initiating, generation of shock and initiation. And there was a lot that happened around then. I think my daddy was born in 1932, and so there was depression, there was wars, there was like all these things. So, it's pretty cool though. If, like I say, if you can kind of just look at, different charts of people of different ages and see those outer planets. And again, they're the ones closer to the bottom, and just what themes that, are kind of playing out within them.
Awesome. Okay, Lissa asking what in the workbook, it asks what the driver of your type is. I'm guessing it's the quantum purpose of the type.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, I know.
Off the side of her mouth to check.
Yes.
Yeah. So if you look back at the presentation around the types, the quantum purpose is going to be really like a driver for the type. So I would look at that. Mm-hmm. So as a projector or an orchestrator, you'd be driven to guide and manage and help us kind of realize our fullest potential.
I was just cracking up because me and Betsy are both sacral beings, and as she's saying that, we're both like, mm-hmm. So.
Yeah. Awesome.
Sacrals in action.
I hope that helps, Alyssa.
All right. Oh, I was getting ready to read an answer. Okay, I think that's in regards to the intensive, and yes,
it is. It is.
All right. Okay, so let's see. What's Natalia? What if we need to start our business sooner rather than a year from now, doing Mastermind because of world circumstances that are forcing us to pivot the directions of our lives? Who or what should we do for one-on-one coaching together? So the Mastermind program will actually help you with that. We have people in the first round that started in June that had no businesses established. They just knew that, like, I want to do a coaching business, or, they had some type of business along those lines. And they're already getting, services out there, websites up, buyers done, offerings. So, I mean, you can really come in at any time. If you're looking for personal coaching, our beloved Kristin or Betsy can post the link to our listing of quantum alignment system practitioners, because they're going to go more into the coaching, side of things, if that's what you're looking for. And then you can read each one, because it's a beautiful, brilliant group of beings that all have different specialties. Some specialize in, abundance and money, some in relationships, some in health, some are just stellar life coaches, so there's plenty of wise beings there if you're looking for personal coaching. But in regards to the Coach Mastermind program, you can come in and, if you're pretty clear on what you want to offer, I mean, really very much sooner rather than later. I don't want to put
in this round, you've had people who came in with the bones of things and have been have already put, I mean, there are people who've already put things out there, even in the, it's not like you come in and then you sit in this little bubble for a year and then afterwards you go out and do stuff. Like you're
Yeah.
creating
Oh,
as you
no.
go along. Yeah.
Yeah. Like our next intensive for this group in December, we're, they're going to be pitching, and we, like I say, we already have, like, they already have access. Like I say, we start with the bios, but I mean, then it's press kits, it's one sheets, it's, the Karen had mentioned the other day, like we just gave them a list of over 300 podcasts. So, you have these things that you can, take and hand to people or email to people and, pitch yourself for a podcast. Just get yourself out there. We go over, just kind of tips and, formulas and things for posting on social media or what your website should look like. But yeah, you're not like boxed in that after module 3, now you may, like, no, you have freedom, to, and what I love about the group is we literally have people that are like, I think I want to be a coach and I'm guided to take this, and they follow their type strategy and authority and are there. We have a member who has had a, very lucrative $1 million plus business that's in there. And actually, if you scroll the sales page, you may or may not see a testimonial from her. So it's like we have people all across, the board. Some have been established and are, like kind of stopped, and they're kind of in the same position. Like, all right, it's time to pivot. This, I got to get out there. It's time to do my work. And I think a lot of us are getting that call. Like, all right, it's time. I got to get out. Like, it's time. So yeah, you can come in and get going.
Yeah. And Natalia, I do see your follow-up question that's a little lower down. And my instinct actually is if you're able, because we're going to be doing some hot shot coaching on Sunday with Karen. And I actually think the question that you're asking would be a great one for that, but you have to be able to be on live. So if you're planning to be live for one of the 2 sessions on Sunday, please send an email to you, Jay.
Or you can just send it to Karen at quantumalignmentsystem.com, and
we'll just put like hot seat or love seat coaching in the subject line so we know that's what you're addressing, and you can mention that I suggested you do that so we remember.
Yeah.
And then
we just need you to be able to be live on camera and just put down what do you want the AM or the PM call, and we'll definitely, Natalia, if you're able, that answers the emails, I might be able to work.
While we're talking about this, Loves, can I break flow for a second? So just to jump and answer the question, since we're talking about the mastermind, there's a couple of questions around, is the HD community included with HD levels 1 and 2? So the mastermind comes with human design levels 1 and 2 as a bonus. And and how we have our professional training set up is once you certify in QHD level 1, you become a CASPA member, which is our professional association, which comes with a ton more of benefits. One of those benefits is free membership into the Understanding Human Design membership community. So to keep it simple, I'm going to just say that because it's a lot more that we just give you a lot of things once you become a certified specialist. So as a bonus to the mastermind program, QHD levels 1 and 2 are included with that. And once you cert in level 1, you get more benefits. So I hope that makes that clear. And Diana asked, so the coaching mastermind is its separate thing. It just so happens to come with levels 1 and 2. So you're not getting a certification per se from the Coach Mastermind. The professional training that comes with it is what you're getting the certification in. So I hope that helps to clarify.
And you get a certificate of completion at the end of the Coach Mastermind as well. But yes, definitely. Okay. I hope that helped. And anyone else who is like, can be on live, I would love to be in the love seat for coaching, for like a little laser love seat coaching on Sunday. You can also feel free to email Karen at quantumalignmentsystem.com with the subject love seat coaching and just indicate if you want the morning or the evening session, and we'll reach out to the people who are selected depending on how many people volunteer for that.
Yeah. And just so you guys know, we're probably only going to take 2, so we can give you enough time, but not be here for a couple of hours.
So if we're just inundated,
enthusiastic,
don't feel bad if you don't get picked.
Yeah, please don't. And I'm going to be honest,
And we pick
Yeah.
randomly. We're not playing favorites, I swear.
Yeah, no, because I'm very transparent, and the girls will tell you my intuition. Like I listen to it.
Mhm.
I, and I'm a woo woman, so if my guides tell me that one, that's
Yeah.
and so there's like
Which you saw just happened with Natalia. I was like, oh, that's
Yeah.
a perfect question for LFC coaching. So, okay.
Elena's next. Yeah.
Yes. Hi, Helena. So this is such a good question, and it touches on a little bit of what we were talking about earlier about, okay, what if I have a gate repeating in all these places? So it's either Helena or Helena. I don't know how I apologize if I'm mispronouncing it. So you're saying that you have that all your incarnation cross gates, or most of them, actually repeat in other places of your chart. And so it feels like you're just doing it's just repeating. So what I wanted to say to you about that is I kind of love when that happens, because I'm like, oh, my purpose is so clear. It is about these 5 things. And I found that happened to me a lot too, when I was writing my life purpose story using this template. And I have some repeating planets as well, or repeating gates as well. But even for me, some of the gates that I had in different places, just the themes of them were so similar that I was looking at it and I was like, okay, universe, I see that glaringly, this is what I'm here to do, right? Is these very specific things. And so what you might want to do is to use the full template and just put it in even as it repeats, and then allow yourself to just look at it and be like, okay, it's very clear to me that these 5 themes are very prominent in my chart, and this is very clearly what I'm here to do. You can absolutely distill it down. I took my whole big long life purpose thing and I basically distilled it into 2 or 3 sentences that was I am here to help people rewrite their narratives about their life so that they can live into a more empowering story and not settle for less, because it's part of my purpose to distill the lessons and blessings from the challenges I've lived through to serve others. You know what I'm saying? I distilled it down a little bit when I could see that there were a lot of repeating themes. And the truth is, as complex as the chart can seem, there's no accidents in the energies and where they go. And the deeper you get into interpreting charts, and really what this ladder is up to is, we're running a live level 4 right now for quantum human design. And really that level of training, it's from levels 1, 2, and 3, you kind of get, okay, this chunk of the chart, and then this chunk of the chart, and then this chunk of the chart. And then level 4 is how do I look at this as one bigger picture? And how do I start identifying the layers and the themes that are all interacting here with each other to help coach people? And you really will, as you look at charts, whether it's your own or other people, you're going to start seeing these bigger themes just jump out at you, whether it's because you have these repeating gates, or it's because the themes of certain gates and planets are clearly very much in relation to one another. So I would say that makes total sense that you're experiencing that, because there's a bigger picture story to your chart, and you're doing this exercise is kind of helping you see that. So I hope that helped.
All right.
Helena. Okay, good. Thank you. I will now never mispronounce it again.
All right. And Susie says, I am a 5-2 projector. Ooh, projection. My conscious earth is 27.5. Another fifth line. Can you give me a bit more info for this gate? I'm a bit stuck there for my big Y. Okay. So lots of projection. You have your profile is, 2 that are projected on. You're a projector. The 27's in the 5th line. But the gate 27 is all about accountability. I think I misspoke and said this on the Gate 50 earlier. I apologize. Gate 50 is actually nurturing. I caught myself after. I was like, oh, too late. But again, right, this is going to carry the theme of you taking accountability where you need to take accountability on a personal level. But in the bigger world, being able, right, as this beautiful projector orchestrator who sees how energy flows and should be managed, knowing where to hold people accountable, which is also going to help with your energy overall, because when you're not holding yourself accountable for things that other people should be held accountable for because it's theirs, not yours to do, that again, you're not going to be extending your energy. So you might look at it in the terms or the wording of, you ground by, holding others accountable, which I know sometimes doesn't sound good, but it's finding the words for you. And again, you use your words, but it's really about holding other people accountable where they need to be. And when we hold, the beautiful thing is when we hold people accountable, sometimes, if we call people out where they need to be called out so they take responsibility for things, it can absolutely be life changing. It's not always, the fun thing to do, or we might not always get looked at the best, especially with so much projection in your chart. But when you are holding people accountable for the right things, it actually energetically you're able to sustain. And it just, in the magic words and ways of energy, there might be some people that, of course, because people are people, that are just like, meh. But people will really appreciate it. Even if they don't want to hear it in the moment, you'll find that they're like so grateful, because I feel like not only are you holding people accountable, you're also empowering them. Like, you're giving them such a beautiful gift of empowerment when you hold them accountable for what's theirs. And it's also very freeing, so you might even look at it that way, right? When we stop doing for people and we allow them to do for themselves, we give them the most precious, beautiful gift of freedom. And again, that empowerment that comes with it.
Mic drop.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna go just a tiny bit rogue right now, because there are some questions towards the bottom that are technical about the mastermind. So I just want to make sure that we can answer those, and then maybe we can come back to the chart ones. So
Yeah, I
Diana,
think you go back and forth.
if that's okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So Diana asked if you complete the mastermind, would you qualify to take Human Design 3 and 4? So you do not have to wait to take any of the, human design or quantum alignment system. If you're interested in those professional trainings, you can absolutely take those. You'll get level 1 and 2 with the mastermind. If you want to also upgrade to the full quantum human design levels 1 through 4, we can support you in doing that. You don't have to wait until the end of the year. So I would recommend you reach out to Kristin, or Kristin, if you want to address that now, you can.
Yeah. Excuse me. And I do want to clarify that the price of the mastermind is the price of the mastermind, meaning even if we didn't offer the QHD level 1 and 2 or any of the vault trainings that come with it, that price would still be the same. So we have a lot of our students who like, I've already bought QHD levels 1 through 4. I already bought level 1 and level 1 and 2 package. Do I get, a discount? And no, because we did that intentionally, that the pricing of the mastermind is actually the pricing of the mastermind. And those things are just as an added bonus with that. So I did want to clarify that for anyone asking. And we have a lot of our students congruently taking the mastermind, and professional levels 1 through 3 of QHD training are all self-paced and pre-recorded. So it's kind of nice because the mastermind's live and they're taking classes weekly, right? And the content's being dripped out, and then they're able to, especially the time vendors are like, I want more things. And so they're able to do their self-study training at their own pace.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, and then while we're talking about this too, if y'all want to speak to this, there's a lot of people saying, I don't know if this is right for me. Can somebody speak to my chart about this? Michelle's like, I don't really know. She put more information here, and she did reach out to me yesterday, and I thought we would be able to communicate verbally quicker and more, fully to her question. And she's down a little bit. She's really busy doing readings. Yeah. So if you guys want to speak to that.
So it's funny because I've seen this kind of question quite a bit, and we saw it actually in the first round too, when we opened up the mastermind the first time, and now, again, of course, the second. And so there's a few things for y'all to consider if you're like, man, I'm really feeling like I want to do this, but I'm not sure. So one of the things that you brought up, Michelle, was being unsure if you have the energy. So first, I want to invite everyone. The first thing that you want to tune into when you're feeling if it's the right thing for you, if you are, tune in by type, first of all, right? If you are a generator, manifesting generator, is your sacral like lighting up about this? Are you responding a big to this kind of thing? Like, this is what I've been waiting for. This just fell in my lap. I'm so excited about it, right? You're having that kind of response. If you are, a manifester, initiator, like, are you getting that ping of divine timing, like of your flow to this? If you are a projector, reflector, if you feel maybe you have an instinctive response to this invitation to join the program, or maybe you want to talk it out with someone. Sometimes projectors and reflectors benefit from having a sounding board. But first, look at your type. Also look at if you have emotional authority. If you have emotional authority, sometimes you just need to like ride your wave and like feel how it feels. I will say if you have tribal emotional authority, because sometimes I'll hear people with tribal authority being like, I've been riding my wave for a couple weeks and I'm still not sure. And I'm like, that's not your wave. Because the tribal wave is pretty, and Jay can speak to this too. It's like, it's a pretty quick thing with that one. But just riding your wave out with that as well, if you have that. And then I would also then invite you to evaluate a couple of other things. Number one, do you already know what you want to do and your head is trying to talk you in or out of it? That's the first thing. Are you just going round and round up here? In which case, if you're a generator type, have someone ask you some sacral questions about it. Get out of that head. If you're a projector or reflector, talk it through. Or even if you are into something like EFT, like what we work with, you can tap on it. If you feel like you have questions that you want answered, or your first line profile and you're like, I just need the information before I can make a decision, like reach out. You can reach out to me, you can reach out to any of us and ask whatever questions you have. And then I also invite you to tune into, I know that in one of Karen's presentations, she talked about the gate 26 and the need to be in integrity. So if you are like completely burnt out and you're like, I really want to do this, but I just don't feel like I have the energy, but maybe if I push it just a little bit more, no, like I just, there's a difference between being in your head and trying to talk yourself in or out of something because you're scared versus it being the wrong moment or you not having the energy or, whatever. Those are different things. So I really want to encourage you to tune in and feel into those different aspects of it. And if you genuinely have questions, or if you're like, I need someone to ask me some sacral questions or whatever, we're here for support and to answer your questions to try to help you determine if it's right for you, but you probably already know.
Yeah.
And I have a question for you, Jay. With everything that Betsy just said, like, and the intensity of this, and I just want to add one little piece of this. We are more concerned with you being in alignment with your energy and in integrity with your vitality than we are to push a program or make a sale. So the timing of all of this is more important to us as a team, and Karen, obviously, as the leader, and then what we're offering in a time frame that we're offering. So this is something that we open enrollment for twice a year, and there are some people that last time they asked us the same questions and it wasn't the right timing for them, whether they are on the verge of burnout, they were burned out, finances weren't there, whatever it was. And then they were like, okay. And they waited, or, they decided to just take professional training instead. And then they're like, oh, it's time now. And they're already ready to go this round. So I just wanted to just throw in that 2 cents, and go ahead, Jay.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, cause that's the main thing with us. Like, I know some people's marketing and tactics and things, they're not heart-based. They may act like they are. They're not. We're literally a team of 4 who pour our heart and soul into the community. But in that, and you're in our community now, like, even if you're not taking professional training, you've made it in the circle. You are in the community. So you're one of our people. And we genuinely wake up every day and we hold space. And in that holding space, even with this launch, our intention was, even if no one signs up for this program, please let us be of service, because we just want to give you things that'll help you. We, yes, there's this whole money exchange and things like that, but we don't do this because we want your money. We do this because we want you to thrive in life. And sometimes, as the girl said, it's just not the right time. And we would rather you not push it and allow for divine timing, because my personal mantra being a man gen is divine time, not mine. And I will try to convince myself it's the time, and it's not. And we will really push up against ourselves and burn out. But, so really just in that, just know, like, we're not going anywhere. We're just getting started over here. So the program will be here. You know, if it's just you're really in that space that it's just not the time for you, please don't force yourself. And we have so many other things that you can still partake in because it is work, you know, like you need to show up for this program. We support you through it. Yeah. I mean, we're
And
all hands on back.
it's work, but it's like the work and the investment in yourself. And like, let me just say, because I've been watching, like Jay is really like in on all the things, but I'm like, the amount and quality of what Karen is giving in this program is insane. Like, it's just, I mean, like everything she has learned and gleaned and mastered over her, like decades of doing this. Like when people come to her and they're like, how do you blah, blah, blah in your business? I'm like, dude, go take her Coach Mastermind because she will tell you. And it's the most personal attention or interaction that you really get with Karen directly. And like, I just think that like this program, if you are at this point where you're like, I am ready to invest in myself and invest in my purpose and invest in my time, right? Because ultimately this is like, are you willing to invest your time in doing these things? Because it's that time piece is where it really pays off. You know, when you show up to the live classes and when you do the homework and when you do the things, like I'm watching some of the things these people are creating in just the first 6 months. And I'm like, man, this is incredible to watch. Right. So I would say that it's like, yes, it's work. And if that kind of work like excites you, if you're like, thank you, like this is the structure I needed to actually be able to do something like this, like, yeah, then that's.
And also,
go ahead.
Okay.
See, we're all excited.
I know, we're all responding.
Well, I was just going to say, in case it's not clear, Jamila is the executive director of the Coach Mastermind. Betsy is the executive director of the Quantum Alignment System professional training, and I'm the COO of Quantum Human Design. So we're this tripod of support, but you know, we each, like, if you have specific questions about each of the things, it's really nice that there's like, oh, okay, that's my go-to point person. So I just wanted to make that clear.
And I will say that there actually is also overlap between all three of our places within the mastermind itself. Like you'll get professional human design training with the mastermind. So you'll be interacting with Kristin for that. I lead master alignment programs, specifically quantum business activation within the Coach Mastermind to support you in like moving through any blocks that come up for you as you're going through this around, oh my God, can I be successful? Can I have what I really want? Wait, I said I wanted this, but I don't know. And this is holding me back. Like we'll work through that using the quantum alignment system, tapping protocols. And then of course you've got Jay there, like just as your constant holding it down. So
always there, Bear. I'm just there, man. I'm just there. Support, accountability.
And to really solidify what J and B have been saying is like, you know, Jamila said it, you know, you're in the community now, you're in circle, literally in circle, you're in our circle. And that means sometimes like that's the first step and that's okay. And, you know, we the alignment piece, the timing pieces Betsy touched on is just super important. And we want you to like, you know, sometimes it's really, we were like squirrel, or we want all the bells and whistles, or we have FOMO and we're like, I don't want to miss this out and I want to miss on that. So really just like tune in and drop in to yourselves and listen to that inner voice and your own intuition to see if this is actually the right time. But like both Jamila and Betsy said, we have something for everyone in some regard, and just being in the community sometimes is enough for where a person is at right now.
Yeah. So you'll feel it if this is what you want. We had a couple people, both Jasmine and Lisa, were asking about the schedule of calls and sessions. So, okay, wait. So it's actually two questions. It's so what are the schedule of live calls, Jay? And then how do the live masterminds fit in? Can you answer both of those?
Sure. All right. So we have every week on Monday and Friday at 10 a.m. Central, we have a call. On Tuesdays, at 7 p.m. Central, we have a call. So Mondays are accountability call where we get together and we do go over and give feedback as well on some of these calls, you know, like if you submit your bio and things like that. But, you know, the theme behind the Monday call is accountability and kind of goal setting for the week. Tuesday nights are general Q&A. And then Fridays are what we call our pod days, because if you come in the program, we will also put you in pods. So tying in with the mastermind. So Monday, Tuesday, Friday, you get me and Karen live on calls. So long as Karen is not traveling, you always have me on a call. So just, if I get on your nerves already, please don't sign up, because we are going to be best friends and you will see me several times a week and in your inbox and checking on you and all the good. But um but again, so you have me and Karen live 3 days a week. Sometimes and then we do run a master alignment program, so there will be a time period for 10 weeks where you have me and Betsy on Wednesdays at 10 a.m. Central. That will probably come about 4 months in the program. Never know. Craig, you're stuck with me because I also, Craig, sorry, sweetheart, you're stuck with me too, because you also get me on quantum alignment system side of things. Not the director, but me and B, as you see, me and B go hand in hand. Like we're all intertwined in our own ways.
So Jay, sorry, Jamila, can you, while you're talking about the mastermind, and we will switch back to chart questions, but I just want to make sure we get all of this covered. We've never been asked this question. This is 930534 asks, what does the mastermind part mean? Are the participants talking about their own selves the whole time? Like a very experiential experience? Like we learn fully about ourselves so we can help others? What does the mastermind?
It's really all the things. So the masterminds, most weeks, 99% of the time, Karen will make a video lesson for you, and we will release that in theory Monday morning. Sometimes if I get it early, I do sneak and put it up Sunday. But so you'll get a weekly video lesson and then the 3 calls. So there's teaching in there, obviously. And then on the calls, Karen, she leads, but we also ask for your feedback as well. So if you have input, like I was on a call with the girls today, and I just say girls because it's all women and that were on the call, so I'm not singling, leaving men out. And one of
We're non-binary people.
Yes, I know. I'm working on my words. I'm sorry. But so somebody had asked a question and then I had started to answer, and another person was like, well, how about this? And it opened up this beautiful conversation and idea, an inspiration for this other person to have something to their generator type, so to have something to respond to. So it's like you have Karen, you have me, you have all these other brilliant, beautiful minds as well with input and ideas. And also you make a lot of connections in there. And then also, again, we have the pods. So not only do you have us 3 days a week and the lessons, and then you have like the smaller cohort of peers that are usually about 4 to 5 people. They love the pods. The first group, they love their pods, and they're so bonded and connected. And they're working together. I even have people that have formed their own pods outside of their pods because, it's like all these relationships that are built. And then watching them, and you also have other people to give feedback other than me and Karen. Sometimes, honestly, I don't know why you people do this, because she's amazing, but I get it because me and Betsy have been coached by Karen, and we too would be scared to show her our work. So you might find
sometimes we still are.
It might still be.
maybe not. I don't know.
Even though I'm terrified of Karen checking my work. But it's really nice to have people to connect with. And if you're just stuck and want to, get ideas or inspirations, you have, you also have this other community within a community within a community. So there's so much. This really is such a hands-on program, and we are with you every step of the way. And if we stop to go sleep or eat, we actually forget to eat a lot. You'd be amazed. And that's not something to be proud of. Don't role model after us for there. But, there's always somebody there for you. Always someone there.
And it's the mastermind is such an appropriate name because, when Betsy said earlier, Jamila's there. She's the executive director. She's on all the calls. She's in it. And then B and I will catch up on the calls. And we literally, I'm I listen, I'm a time bender, and I listen to a lot of things while I'm working and doing other things, of course. And I literally will just stop what I'm doing and going, oh my God, it is so jam packed. You have to think it's a 12-month program. It's soup to nuts. It's it is covering everything. it's amazing. I've never seen anything like it. I literally will send messages like, I just listened to today's replay call. I cannot believe, like, I can't believe the content that I just heard, that I just listened to. So it is all the things. Like, it's really magical what has been created here. So
Yeah. And
all the
usually,
bases are covered.
sorry, I cut you off.
No, I was say all the bases are covered. That's it.
Yeah. And I mean, usually the word mastermind is used to describe a program that is more intensive and slightly more intimate, like a smaller-ish group of people going through a program for a longer period of time, which is exactly what this is. And like Jay was saying, there's like kind of layers, right? Like you have the bigger group, and you have the bigger group for the larger calls and whatever. And then you have your pod, and then you have the intensives, and so there's lots of different kind of structures that you can tap into and get just really nice, intimate, personal connection through the mastermind. And like Jay was saying, you form really beautiful, deep relationships as it's a creation program. You're creating and you're building. And so, yeah, it's that intimacy and intensive.
We're going to jump back to chart questions, Donnelly. Don't be bummed. We're going to jump back in. I know we're running out of time. We're running short on time. So,
well, and we've had quite a few questions, so we're never going to get to all of them.
We're not, I know, and we have a lot submitted, but we will have another session tonight.
Yeah, tonight.
Yes, we do tonight. And I will also just say, like, if you have more questions about the mastermind and about how does this work, or I need more information, all three of us are on Circle, so you can send us private messages there. You can also email us. All of our emails are our name at quantumalignmentsystem.com. So I am Betsy at quantumalignmentsystem.com. Jay is Jamila at quantumalignmentsystem.com, and Kristin is Kristin at quantum. But maybe you prefer Circle.
Yeah, and do one of you, Donnelly's actually almost next on and she can watch the replay of this if y'all want to. One of you want to answer her question that she put in.
Yeah, are you still here, Donnelly? I can look at it right now. Okay, don't hop off. Stay one more minute. You actually asked a few questions, so let me see if I can find them all. Okay, so you said where it says I call on these energies when I'm in need of greater alignment with my purpose. Yeah, so you'll notice that there are in each of the sections, you know, like for that alignment with your spiritual purpose, that would be Neptune, right? Or I call on these, like, these things drive me. Like Karen will insert sentences in there that are tied to the theme of the planet. So I think that that's what you're referring to with that question. And then when you asked about if the quantum purpose is your incarnation cross. So honestly, your quantum purpose lives in a lot of places in your chart. Your quantum purpose is your chart as a bigger picture thing. And there's all these different aspects that you can look to. I'll be honest, like sometimes for me, I look at my incarnation cross. Your incarnation cross is like a high level indicator of your purpose, right? And there's going to be a lot of other people on the planet who have the same incarnation cross as you, but they're going to be living out the themes differently depending on what's in alignment with their soul in this incarnation for them. Sometimes I'll be really drawn to the story of my purpose as told by the incarnation cross. Sometimes I'll be really drawn to the piece of my purpose that is told by the nodes. Sometimes just Neptune or just Chiron or just the Saturn, Jupiter, I'll be like, oh my God, I'm so living out this piece of my quantum purpose right now, right? So your chart itself is kind of your quantum purpose, I would say. And it's just that big wide template gives you so many pieces of it, right? It's giving you this big, broad story of all these different parts and pieces. And even just some part of that can also tune you into it on a much better level. So I hope that helps.
I want to add something in there if it's okay.
Yeah, please.
Things that we are so just big on here is the stories that we tell. So in reality, your purpose is just to be who you be, and not there's no just in that. I shouldn't say it that way, right? You be who you be, so you can do what you do. The reason why, even with the purpose of the purpose template, is because as we realign, as we come back to ourselves, sometimes the stories, like we're literally, when we read that purpose, we're reading, just that, our purpose, our story. And it really helps us rewrite the narrative. When we do this sheet, because you being here, you're fulfilling your purpose. So I don't want to twist that, but yes, we do give a sheet, but this is why, because the stories that we tell, our words have so much power. And I won't go on this, I'll keep that soapbox to the side today, but that's, kind of the purpose, and the purpose worksheet is to really help us, tell the story of who we are. and what we came here to do. And those days that we might forget, you pick up your purpose and you read it and you remind yourself, because some days we do forget. Some days are heavier than others, and like that's okay. Now, here's this beautiful template that we have to remind ourselves, and some people, Karen reads hers every morning. It's part of her morning practice. And that she grounds into that energy and grounding, and part of grounding into her day and her being is reading her purpose template. So again, just really locking in that story.
And I actually recently taught my own class about life purpose, and really like a deep dive intimate coaching program about life purpose in the chart. And the thing that we did at the end was I created a different version, my own version of a life purpose template. And we worked on it. We workshopped it. We worked on pieces of it together. And I actually told all my students, I said, I hope that you will take this and like put it up on your wall, put it on your bulletin board, put it somewhere, because I can't tell you how many times, and I think especially there's so much swirling around in the world right now. Like, I can't tell you how many days, and I'm so grateful on so many levels for this team, but I'll reach out to Jay and Kristin and be like, I'm just having a day. I don't understand the purpose of anything, and there are days when we just feel so disconnected. And honestly, sometimes being able to go back to something like this, looking at your big why, looking at this story, this empowering narrative of why you came here, what is the purpose of it all? And literally just anchoring back into that can sometimes just help me be like, okay, there is a reason, and I am here for a purpose, and I do matter. And sometimes you need that. Sometimes you need to just take that typewriter and just go like click it back to the other side. You know what I mean? So I find that this template is really good for that too. So
Yeah.
Well, we are at the top of the hour. So
Yeah.
would you
I can rapid fire 3 real quick.
oh snap.
Yeah.
rapid fire
Kayla,
go?
All right. So Kayla said, when the planets have a number like 59.8, is there any concept of rounding up the gate 60? Is there any concept here? No. And you will find that the numbers won't go past the 0.6.
Yeah, it should be a 6, not an 8.
Yeah. All right. So where do I find info on the lines like my Saturn return? Okay. So I recommend The Book of Lines by Chetan Parker. I have Chiron 51 on both sides, Sun red 59, Black 34, Earth. Oh boy, Earth red 55.
That's an incarnation cross. Oh no, wait, it's not.
I have Chiron. So your Chiron, your spiritual, it's really going to be, you might experience a lot of shocking and initiating experiences that will, if you get knocked off track, you might find that you have really shocking experiences that initiate you into awakening. So the more you stay in alignment, that will ease the 51 shock and initiation. And then you get to, be a catalyst in initiating people into their awakening. Sun red 59. All right. Do you want to take some?
Yep. Okay. Kayla, you asked about projector strategy. Is it in your design to ask someone if they want for advice or feel like it's better to wait for them? So both. Actually, that's something that I tell projectors to do a lot, is if you see something and you want to say something, ask first. Hey, I see something. Can I share it with you? They might say no. They might say no, thanks. Or they might say sure. And then that it's kind of like sticking your foot in the door and making it more easy. And I actually recommend that for people with open or unmotorized throats too. Like just kind of grease the skids for yourself a little bit, and like pave the way for you to be heard. Yes, I think that's a lovely thing for you to do. I'm just scrolling here.
Amy asked if you could speak to Pluto.
Oh, sure. So Amy, I'm guessing you mean the themes of Pluto. I'm hoping I got that right. So Pluto is an outer planet. It's all about kind of how we die and are reborn unto the self, but Pluto is one of the outer planets. So it's also about collective themes. So a lot of times Pluto can also be a planet that might denote like intergenerational patterns that maybe you came to rewrite or break or heal. So, anything that's in your Pluto themes in your Pluto, if you look at how has this played out in my family, particularly potentially in the kind of same gendered line of your family. Like for me, I have big themes in my Pluto around like the maternal lineage of my, things like that. But yeah, Pluto is kind of death and rebirth, going into like the shadow and the underworld to then be reborn into the light kind of thing.
Patty, my cheat for what color is soul is black like my soul. And for some reason, I remember that, but you guys have to appreciate me to understand me remembering that. So black is soul purpose.
And I have to say, because I think that some people get confused by the words because different people have different meanings or interpretations around what your life purpose or your soul purpose means. So like, I think the way I've heard Karen describe it too is that like the black numbers are more like, oh God, see, I always get them rewired in my brain. The red numbers are like your soul. It's like if you believe in destiny or you believe in like, this is the path that your soul chose, like you may be aware of parts of it or you may not, like the bigger picture of like this is the journey you're going to be taking. And then bringing that kind of conscious definition, whether you determine that, like whether you determine one, I think she talks about that as your life purpose. Like this is just the path of your life. And then the conscious, the black numbers are your soul. But in my brain, it always has made sense for me to like reverse those two. So I think that's why we all get so confused sometimes, because different people think those mean sometimes the opposite of what other people think. I'm just making it more confusing. I'm going to stop talking.
I posted in there my response that I always give people. So I hope that helps. You can read that as well. We are past time, but we have,
I know.
we can do it. So if you all have to go, you can go, but we just do want to answer these last couple questions. Go.
Okay, let's see if we can power through. Adele, gate 54 in your Saturn. So gate 54 is off the root. It's part of the business circuitry, and it's all about the right timing to put the drive and ambition towards like big inspired ideas. So because it's off the root, you know, I would wonder, and it's in Saturn, I would wonder if there have been life lessons or learnings for you around working with correct timing for bringing things to fruition. And also keeping the faith in your big inspirational ideas and knowing that they are possible, but just waiting for that timing to come online.
Okay, I'm going to skip.
That was the shortest I've ever answered about that.
Yeah. I'm going to skip and go to Lenny because I know Lenny.
Okay.
So I'll answer this for her. So she says, as someone who doesn't know their birth time, the time I've chosen gives me 27 conscious and 60 unconscious. And even new quantum language doesn't resonate with me. Oh, for the moon energy being her driver or zing. Okay, so Lenny, this cracks me up because I absolutely feel like what you do is those energies, right? You hold people accountable and you give them this, you know, innovative, transformative information through your readings, through your energy work, you know, through all your magic that is you. So to me, you actually do that and you don't even realize you do it because you're so in alignment with following your passion.
Is she a second line?
I can't remember if Lenny's a second line or not, but she's freaking amazing. Or
What I'm saying, maybe that's why.
yeah, it could be. Yeah.
Or if they're in the second line.
Yeah.
Second lines don't see themselves how other people see them. So yeah, it could be your second lines in your chart. I'm sure you got some twos in there. Okay.
Yeah.
B.
All right, Kayla, yes, you can use the Big Y worksheet if you credit Karen.
Is there a good resource for how to structure a reading for a client? I've been reading, but casually I'm wanting to add reading services. So is Toby in our professional trainings, Kristin? Toby, are you in our?
It's not familiar.
Okay, so that is something that we teach as part of the professional trainings. If you go for certification with, you know, Karen in the quantum human design trainings, that's one of the things we support you in doing, is understanding how do you take the information and then apply it to transmitting it via a reading. And you get like a layer deeper with that with each level of it. So I'm not sure how else.
Betsy and I made a video. I'll share the link with you.
Oh, Toby said they're signing up for level 1. We would love to, for real. And yeah, just
awesome. Joanne, how do you interpret a root with 7 hanging gates and an 8th gate defined? Seems root heavy. Okay, so anytime that I see any center in the chart that's like lit up like that, I'm like, this is a big theme for you, right? So I would just say that go look into the theme of the center, because the center itself is probably going to be a big theme. Now, you said you had one gate. Did you mean one channel defined? Like, is it a defined root center, but then you also have like, do you have all the gates active? Is that what you're saying? If it's a defined center with everything, like really big theme, you'll have an internal experience with it. But if it's an open center with all those gates defined, okay, it's defined. Got it. So then, yeah, but if it is an open center with all whatever, then you will be experiencing like the pressure center of the root, but also probably big time. So, but yeah, it's just going to be a big theme for you. Divine timing and knowing when to do and when to do in alignment with your energy, for sure.
2 more questions. We're almost there. Thank you for sticking with us.
I don't know how to answer Amy's question short. Does anyone else?
Let's see. Can someone put words to the themes in our big why? Also, how we have access to all the chart. Okay, so we have access to all the chart because we do. Where we don't have definition. I mean, because it's a body, the being. It's a body. That's my guides are telling me.
We all have all of the chart.
The chart. Yeah.
Therefore, we have access to all of the archetypal energies.
Exactly. And we may experience them through other people, through transits, which on the open centers, how does having open centers, everything but root and sacral spleen affect? So it's just going to depend again on the people that you're around, because if you're around someone like me who's 7 centers defined through single definition, I'm going to be bringing you a lot more definition. Just you're going to feel, so where there is openness in your chart, which is anything not colored in, you take in the energy of others or the transits around you, if they have it defined, and you amplify that and feel that bigger. We will go deeper Monday when we do the call, because Karen's going to be doing the deconditioning by the center. So watch that. It'll
Definitely
get that.
Yeah. And Kristin, if you want to post, because she was asking also about the themes for the big why and whatever. If you want to, can you find the quantum alignment show I did where I talked about the incarnation crosses and because I think sometimes people are like, I don't understand how these like themes play out in my life. Like, Kristin will post that link for you. And I talk about a bunch of different ways that you can look at the themes in that way. And then Anonymous, can you explain the difference for someone with a gate on a defined center versus an undefined? So if you have the gate defined on, if the gate itself is defined, you're always going to be living out within your own story, because it's something that's defined within your own chart is something you have consistent access to and will be living out these like internal themes of within yourself, right? So you'll always have that theme. But if it's on an open center, you might experience the theme of that gate in conjunction with the themes of the open center. So for example, if you have the gate 6 defined on an open solar plexus, the open solar plexus is empathic, right? And it picks up on the emotional energy all around it. So you might find that you have kind of this theme of protectiveness or impact or whatever, amplified around other people's emotional energy. You would probably only have that as a hanging gate, because otherwise the center would be defined for you. So then you might find it might get amplified even more if you're hooking up with people who then bring that circuit together for you for the flow, but you'll have that theme of impact around that amplified theme of picking up on other people's emotional energy. Whereas if the solar plexus is defined and you have that gate, then you're going to have your own specific emotional wave. So the whole emotional energy will be consistent within yourself. It's your emotional wave as opposed to picking up on other people's emotional wave. I hope that made sense.
We did it.
We did it. We only went 12 minutes over the hour. Thank you all so much for sticking this out with us as well.
Yeah. And I want to just emphasize, if you have questions about the program, if you're trying to make a decision and you're like, I just need to talk this out with someone about what I'm considering, send any of the 3 of us a message. We're all on Circle. We all have email, our name at quantumalignmentsystem.com. You can find our emails in the about section on the website. We love you.
Yeah, we love you. Thank you for the love.
If we missed your questions, it was not intentional if they were in the other chat. So, just feel free again. Find us, message us, or come back tonight, 7 p.m. Central. We're going to go rest our throats.
Eat some food, maybe?
Yeah, we're going to eat. Yes, we will remember to eat today.
All right,
love you all.
Thank you all.
Bye.
Bye.